Yo, what's going on, everybody? I am 8K Eagles. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe. We got a good one for you. Let's get it. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Appreciate you guys for joining us. I am joined by two very powerful individuals when it comes to all of football, not just their team. And what's going on, Jeff? What's going on, Adam? Appreciate you guys for joining me today.
What's going on? Thank you for having us on the stream today. Hope everybody's doing well in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be a part of this.
Yeah, so, pretty much what the title is of the stream is our top five for 2022. We're going to give you our prediction of who the top five people will be at the end of the season this year. And then we're going to come back at the end of the year and see how close our lists are.
That is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
We're either going to be very, very wrong.
I think we're going to be wrong.
I think we might. You know what? I'm going to say we're somewhere in between. I think some of our guys are going to land in certain spots, and some of them will not make it at all.
Yeah. Probably so. I think you guys. You know what? We'll start out with that one then, because I think that one's going to be the fun one to do. So, but yeah, how was you guys this weekend? You guys staying cool? Because it's been hot as hell out, man.
Oh my God, it's hot as ball sack out there. Sorry to be so graphic, but Jesus, you know it's bad when your nutsack sticks to your thighs. That's when you know it's fucking bad. I'm sorry.
I could equate to what he just said. Yeah, it's unbearable outside, especially if you live in like the New York, New Jersey area. Oh my God.
Even Pennsylvania, man.
I am not out of shape. Okay, and I can tell you right now, I think I sweat more sitting down doing this than I do anything else. Like, I'm just sweating sitting here talking to you guys. It's unbelievable. I think it was 102 here with humidity. Like,
it is disgusting outside.
Yeah, it is terrible, man. So, give some what's ups real fast. Jinx Wolf, how you doing, sir? Appreciate you for coming through, man. Drew Johnson, how are you, sir? Further AM, he is responsible for that awesome hardcore sports countdown at the very beginning. Good job on that, man. And we got a new intro for you guys coming too. I think everyone is going to enjoy. I know we do. And what's going on, Jinx? How's the nest out west doing? He's doing great, man. Just got into his new place. He's been, doing some moving. So, he should be back in a week or two. But, yes, thanks for asking, man. 98 over there. Yeah. So, all right, guys. This is the one I think is truly where we're going to be so far apart from one another. But let's go with tight ends first. Adam, give me your top five tight ends.
Oh, gosh. Well, I'm going to go with the easy one. Is Travis Kelce. That's number one. Number two, oh God, I'm gonna take Kyle Pitts at number two. Just because I think he's gonna blow up the league. Then I'm gonna go with an Eagle. I'm gonna say Dallas Goedert is gonna be number three. I think he's got a good offense he's going to be a part of. I think they're going to feature him, especially with the run-heavy oriented offense that Nick Sirianni likes to run, and they're going to try to mix in a little play action. I'm going to go number four. I know it's going to sound weird, but I'm going to go with Mike Gesicki down in Miami. I know he got the franchise tag. I think he's, you don't give a guy a franchise tag for just being a schlub. And then my last two, it's a toss-up between Dalton Schultz or David Njoku, but just for shits and giggles, I'm going to go with David Njoku as number five.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
I didn't see Njoku coming in there. Holy crap.
Yeah. Wow. I like it. I take a wow. Like.
Yeah.
I could see though your second one though, Adam. I could
Well,
definitely see why you put him up that high.
well, listen. I mean, think about Kyle Pitts, right? I'll let you. I don't mean to monopolize the time, but
Go for it.
Kyle Pitts has a new quarterback. Arthur Miller knows how to use tight ends from his days with Tennessee, and they drafted this guy for a reason. He got like 800 yards last year, and they don't have anybody else. A receiver out there that do much. I think this guy is going to take a big leap and help out Marcus Mariota.
Mm.
It's not bad. Jeff, you want to go or should I?
Well, my number one, I'm actually going to be picking George Kittle because I think George Kittle is
I
actually
forgot
that
about
complete
him.
tight end, and he's going to be that type of guy that's going to be the security blanket for a young quarterback like Trey Lance. He's going to always be looking
If
for
he
that
stays
tight end.
healthy.
If Kittle stays healthy, you know what always a young quarterback looks for, and that's their tight end. And George Kittle is going to be the friendliest player for Trey Lance if he goes through his rookie year in the development. Number two, I got to pick Travis Kelce because the fact that now that Tyreek Hill is no longer in Kansas City, I think Travis Kelce is going to be a target monster over there. I think that Patrick Mahomes is going to be targeting him anywhere and everywhere when it comes to those over-the-middle plays, even taking some deep shots because the rest of the wide receiver pool, while they are potential, I still think that when it comes down to it, Travis Kelce is going to get his. My third one, I'm actually going to go with T.J. Hockenson. I think T.J. Hockenson is going to be a guy that doesn't really get as much claim as he really should. I think Hockenson is going to take advantage of the types of reps he's going to get this year, and he's going to really blow up. I think Hockenson is going to have a big year, and he's going to be Goff's favorite target this year. A lot of people are going to say Armand St. Brown or possibly Jameson Williams when he comes back from his injury. I think Hockenson is going to be that number one guy in that offense. My fourth one, I got to go with Darren Waller because Darren Waller is in a perfect spot right now with the Raiders. The fact that they just brought in a guy like Devontae Adams who is going to command the double teams on the outside, and we all know what Hunter Renfrow is going to do in the slot. Darren Waller is just going to be that guy, a big tight end over the middle, who's going to take advantage of those one-on-one opportunities, and he's going to get his catches. I could definitely see Darren Waller having a big bounce-back year after he struggled with injuries last year. And my number 5 guy, I'm actually going to go with what Adam said before, Dallas Goedert. I think Dallas Goedert is another guy that's going to take advantage of the wide receivers that are on that team because Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, they're going to get theirs. And Dallas Goedert is one of the most talented tight ends as a run blocker as well as a receiver. So I think that Goedert is going to take advantage of those one-on-ones when they're there, and I think he's going to have himself a pretty big year too.
These lists are already off to a crazy start.
Yeah.
What's up, Randy?
Randy.
Randy.
What is up, guys? What is up?
Now, give me your top 5 tight ends for the 2022 season, man. Who do you predict will be your top 5?
Okay, I'm gonna go from 5 to 1. So from 5, I got Darren Waller on the Raiders. I just feel like him this year. He's gonna have another big year this year. I do understand that they did go out and get Devontae Adams, but I mean that didn't change anything when they had Hunter Renfrow last year, and he was their big target last year, 4th and Renfrow, as they like to say. So number 5, Darren Waller. Number 4, I'm gonna go say Mike Gesicki of the Dolphins. A lot of people sleep on this guy, and you look at the guy's numbers, and every year he seems to perform. And I know they got Hill, but that'll also open up a lot for Gesicki. Number 3, I go Mark Andrews of the Ravens. They don't got nobody over there right now. So I mean, right now Mark Andrews is basically their number 1 target. Number 2, I popped in just as Jeff was talking about Kittle, and I kind of jump on what Jeff says about George Kittle with Trey Lance. And number 1 for me is Travis Kelce. I feel like Travis Kelce, now that Hill's gone, is going to be just even more of a big part of the team. And I just feel moving forward, that man's just going to show his worth. So that's my top 5.
Oh my God, dude! My top 5 is gonna get murdered now.
Why?
All right, I'm gonna start at 5 too. Number 5 for me is Mark Andrews. Now, this one I floated with for a few minutes because it was either between him or Knox from Buffalo.
Okay.
I believe Knox is
Really?
pretty, man. I think Knox could be a pretty good force to be reckoned with when it comes to tight end. But I put Andrews there just because of the fact that the Ravens got rid of Hollywood.
Right.
You know, Andrews is now 100% Lamar Jackson's security blanket. He already was, but now it's even more. So I got to give it to Andrews. Number 4, I have Kittle.
Okay.
The reason I have Kittle at 4 is because of Trey Lance. I do not know exactly what Trey Lance is going to be yet. I think Kittle takes a step back this year just solely on his quarterback alone. And being able to get that chemistry developed, and also this kid's
Well,
proving to you he's
they do have Debo and what's that other kid's name? I forget his name from Arizona State.
Brandon Ayuk,
Bolger? Yeah, that kid. So I mean, they're not going to be per se bad, but
No.
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that they're going to be bad. It's just I know there's probably going to be learning curves with the young QB. You know what I mean? Like,
Your list.
he's going to get his catches. Kittle's going to get his yards, but hey, he's 4. Number 3 for me, I have Waller. Waller is number 3 for me because Adams is going to completely open up that middle. You're not going to be able to just solo one-on-one Adams. You're going to have to use the safety. You're going to have to, relieve some pressure and play zone, which is going to let Waller eat people alive. 100%.
I agree with you because Josh McDaniels had Gronkowski, Hernandez, Wes Welker, and Randy Moss. So they're very similar type of personnel there.
Yeah.
So I believe Waller is just going to have an all-out year just because of Adams' presence alone.
Yeah.
Number 2 is where I have Dallas Goedert.
Wow.
I have Dallas Goedert there. That's not a bias thing. That is truly because when you have A.J. Brown, as long as he stays healthy, and you have Devontae Smith, as long as he stays healthy, and you got Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts, it is going to be very hard to cover everyone. The same reason why this next guy that I have listed as my number 1, I believe Goddard is going to be underlooked, even though he shouldn't be, just because of the fact you have A.J. Brown and Smith. Them 2 presences alone are very tough. But now you add in Goddard and Miles, it's just too much. You know what I mean? So I think Goddard's going to have a breakout year, man. I'm talking like 1,200-1,300 yards, hopefully. Okay. And my number 1 is Mike Gesicki.
Wow. Not even.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, Mike is very undervalued. He came from Penn State. I know all about Mike Gesicki. This kid is a fucking baller.
Yes.
Let's not lie. He truly is. Tyreek Hill's presence, bro, no one is thinking Mike Gesicki.
Jalen Waddle,
No
too. Don't
one.
forget about him.
Huh?
Jalen Waddle, too. Don't forget about him as well. The 2
Yeah,
of them.
Waddle, dude, no one's, they're worried about that shit. I'm telling you, dude, this is another guy I'm expecting to break out this year. So if you're going to come in and just immediately go hunt and criticize after I just gave you my reasoning, you can bounce. No, but I'm serious, man. Like, when you got Waddle, when you got Hill, you got Tua, who is actually he can get out and he can get away. I'm just telling you, man. I think Mike's going to break out this year.
I had Gesicki in my fantasy last year, and he did pretty damn well, man. He had close to 800 yards receiving, and he didn't get a lot of touchdowns, but he was all over the field, and I just feel like he's gonna flourish a little bit more. He is a little bit higher on your list than mine, but
that's the Penn State bias as not me. I know what he's capable of doing, and if they use him, I'm not lying. Like, Gesicki could be somebody to be reckoned with.
Well, the thing is that. Go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
I was going to say I was going to bounce off what Adam was saying before about Kyle Pitts. I think Kyle Pitts is going to be the guy that's going to explode this year because of the fact that who else does that Atlanta Falcons offense really have? I mean, you're trusting Drake London, who's a rookie, and then they really have nobody else in that offense. I think Kyle Pitts he's gonna get peppered with a whole lot of targets, especially with Mariota as the quarterback, and maybe even if the rookie quarterback Desmond Ritter gets there. I mean, I think Pitts is gonna take a big time step going
Happy
forward.
birthday, Ruff.
Happy birthday, Ralph.
Hey, happy birthday! But see, two things I want to address. First, the Gesicki thing. One, he's on all of our lists, so that means we all agree that that guy is going to do well. Now, do I agree that he's better than Travis Kelce? That's your list. I'm not going to, I picked David Njoku, so what do I know, right? So that's one. The second thing is. Kyle Pitts. The reason I like Kyle Pitts is because he really flew under the radar last year. He had a solid season. It wasn't like he was bad, and he had Matt Ryan throwing the football. This year, another year under his belt. They're going to probably feature him more. Again, you have Drake London there, but
did he have a 1,000-yard season last year or no?
I'll have to look that up. I don't want to give that. I think it was close to 800, 900 yards, but I could be wrong.
I thought he had 11, but
1,100.
I think. Hold on, let me look.
He had 1,026.
Yeah. He had
okay, so then I'm not wrong. That guy's going to have a beast of a year.
Yeah.
That guy
with Cordell Patterson being like their gadget guy for the whole year, whether it's running back, whether it was they actually moved him to tight end in a couple of games or wide receiver. But Cordell Patterson was all over the field. But Pitts was like their like hidden gem guy that he was always open in certain spots, right? So that's just crazy. 68 receptions, 1,026 yards.
Oh man, lost. No,
but his long yards. So yeah,
no. In all honesty, man, it all falls on Mariota. Like truly, it does. And then the dude they just drafted, what's his face?
Desmond Ritter. Yeah.
Like,
I agree with you there.
Because we know Pitts can do it,
I agree, but that's what I'm saying. He's a young up and coming tight end that he had so he had 1,100 yards, you said, or 1,027 or something like that, right? That was said. That was 1,027 of the quietest yards I've ever seen in my life. Like nobody's like, Kyle Pitts. Yeah. They're like, Leonard just stinks.
Yeah.
How many
times
did we
about
say
those wide receivers last year? The wide receivers just blowing up, and everybody forgot Kyle Pitts had a hell of a year last year too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he could technically have been, if it wasn't for Jamar Chase, Rookie of the Year. I mean, that's pretty good numbers, for what he's done. So.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Jeez, those wide receivers. That was a great class last year with those playmakers coming out in the first round. Like every single one of them looked great.
See, that's why I wanted to do tight ends first, man, because I knew everyone would have it. I'm more reasonable with the next ones.
Wide receivers tough because it's hard when you got so many of them. So it's like you want to sometimes stretch out to 10 because 5 you're really picking on those because there's so many good ones out there.
Exactly.
All right, well, we're gonna do wide receivers, and I'm gonna go first this time just because I want to get mine out.
Well, you can go first then.
I just want to get it out of the way so I don't have to deal with it anymore. Number 5 for me is Tyreek Hill. I'm still questioning on the Tua thing. I know Tua is a decent quarterback, but I need to see it first. You got to realize it. That you might say, "Oh, he's a more accurate quarterback," but dude, the arm talent is by far way different. You went from Pat Mahomes to Tua. There's a huge difference there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still, but I also know it's Tyreek Hill, so I got to see it. But I have to. My number 4 is Mike Evans. I believe Mike Evans is still going to have his 1,000-yard season again. They sit there and they went out and got Julio Jones, which that's going to truly help Evans. Godwin's coming back, another big help. They got weapons all around there, so I expect Mike Evans to be a top 5. My number 3 is going to be Jefferson. Jefferson is always that guy. He's always going to be a threat each and every year, probably no matter who his quarterback is. My number 2 is Jamar Chase. This kid came out his rookie year, had 1,500 yards. I do not expect him to slow down. And that chemistry between him and Joe Burrow is only going to grow more and more from college, more years they play. So, and then my number 1 obviously is Devontae Adams, and there's a reason for that being number one. But yeah, man, I expect nothing but a huge season with Derek Carr. I mean, for crying out loud, dude, he left Aaron Rodgers for this guy, so that means something. You know, you just don't leave Aaron Rodgers.
No.
So
No, absolutely not.
that's my top 5.
Wow, that's a pretty good top 5. I guess I'll go next. My number, I don't go from 5 to 1. I like to go to 1 to 5. Doesn't really matter where they end up, but as long as they're in there 5. But here we go. I'm going to go with Cooper Kupp number 1 because I can't knock production and I can't knock what he did. And the guy basically had a career renaissance year for the wide receiver position in the Rams history. And we're talking about guys like Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, real deal wide receivers for them.
Mm.
That's number 1. Number 2 would be Devontae Adams, just because I think where he's going, he's going to get touches. I mean, Josh McDaniels had Randy Moss, and Tom Brady threw for 50 touchdowns. I'm not saying Derek Carr is going to be that guy, but I'm just saying, judging by the coaches. Number 3 is Jefferson. I love what he does for Minnesota. I think he's going to still bring it this year. Even though Kirk Cousins, some people don't like, I like Kirk Cousins to help Jefferson out. Now, number 4. Go ahead.
Was that a shot at me? Because I don't like Cousins.
No. Not at all. I'm just saying, because I'm not saying that I totally didn't even realize that. No, because Kirk Cousins had 4,500 yards last year. I can't deny production. You know what I'm saying? So,
4,500 yards if it don't get you nowhere.
Right, but it doesn't matter. I'm just saying, we tend to not want to look at production regardless of what it is. So I think Kirk Cousins will still keep the production up for Justin Jefferson. Number 4 is a tough one for me. But I think I'm going to go with AJ Brown, and here's why: because AJ Brown is going to a team that's going to fit his skill set perfectly. Okay, not that Tennessee didn't. He had 1,100 yards with Tennessee, which they do the same thing. Very run heavy, predominantly heavy offense, right? So now you're going to bring him into a team that's very similar in the Eagles. What they're going to run, they're going to basically build their team around those running backs. And then let Jalen Hurts, manage the game. I hate to use that term, but that's what I feel,
bro.
And then the last one I'm going to put, and I don't really think I want to put him here. I would go with Tyreek Hill, but I'm just going on straight reputation.
Yeah.
Actually, no, excuse me. Take him off. Jamar Chase earned number 5. Chase earned number 5. So I'm taking, and it doesn't matter that he's 5 because he could be 1. He could be. I'm just giving the 5 top guys on my list. I don't want Tyreek Hill. I don't want anything to do with Tyreek Hill. He's going to get his 1,000 yards, which isn't hard to do when you have 17 games, but he's not going to be the player that we thought he was because, like AK said, you go from Patrick Mahomes to Tua Tagovailoa. That's like getting filet mignon and going to McDonald's, okay? It's just how it is. I'm just saying.
That's a Maserati to a Ford Taurus. No lie.
That works too.
Well, I guess I'll go next. And I got some surprises in here. For my top 5, my number 1 has got to be Devontae Adams. I mean, until somebody else goes out there and proves otherwise, I got to give Devontae Adams due credit. The guy's just been Mr. Consistency every single year, putting up gargantuan numbers, playing like a true number 1. Guy's really uncoverable all the time. And then I would go the same thing with my number 2, Cooper Kupp. Another guy, Mr. Consistency. Just goes out there, not the fastest, not the quickest, not the best route runner. He just goes out there, gets open, helps his quarterback, puts up monster numbers all the time.
He can also make the contested catch pretty good too, Kupp.
Man, you guys are really making me feel like a dick because I didn't put Kupp on my list. Now I got to take Hill off of 5 and put Kupp there.
He won a Super Bowl last year and he burned that ball.
Technically, he was a Super Bowl MVP. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
My number 3, I got to go with Justin Jefferson. I mean, this kid has got it all. He's got downfield speed. He's got route running. He's got size. He's got everything that you look for in your prototypical outside receiver. So I got to put him up there. Number 4, how about we give love to this guy, Keenan Allen? This guy just every single year comes in and he just puts up great numbers every single year. Keenan Allen just comes out there and balls. Last year, 106 catches, 1,138 yards, 6 touchdowns. He's just Mr. He is the definition of Mr. Consistency every single year. So I got to give my guy Keenan Allen his respect out there. I'm sure Justin Herbert's loving the fact he's got a good veteran like Keenan Allen over there. And number 5. This one's going to blow everybody's top right here, but I think that this guy is ready to have a major breakout season. It's going to actually make AK. And,
you better not say Kadarius Toney.
I'm picking Devontae Smith. I think Devontae Smith is going to have a season this year. Not A.J. Brown. I love Devontae Smith's game. I've loved this kid in college. I think his route running is exceptionally crisp. I think this guy gets in and out of his breaks really good, and I just really think that highly of Devontae Smith's skill set. And I think with the fact you got Goddard there and you got A.J. Brown, it's not going to be one of those two guys that's going to have a big season. It's going to be number 6 in the Eagles.
Let's just say this: Jalen Hurst has no excuses with those weapons out there.
No, that's
Yeah, you know what? Now I'm feeling some type of way because screw Cup. Like, you guys have 2 Eagles on your list, and I'm one. Like, damn.
Slay, it's not. I've got to be unbiased here. I've always liked Devontae Smith's game. It doesn't matter.
I love A.J. Brown. You know what I mean? I hate that he's on the Eagles, but I love A.J. Brown. I just know what that.
Smith.
Actually, A.J. Brown's nickname for me is going to be Bernie Mac. I'm going to start calling him Bernie Mac from now on because that's what he looks like.
He does.
So I'm going to call, whenever I see A.J. Brown this season, Bernie Mac has come to town.
Yeah.
Wow.
He might not have the potential right now, but I really think if they get this kid the ball, this route running is so good, he's going to get open. And he's going to get open a lot, and he's going to explode this year. I think Devontae Smith's about to have a major season this year for the Eagles.
Agreed.
Wait, what? Wait, oh, sorry. My bad, dude. Where were you? Oh, that one? Oh, yeah, go ahead, Randy.
Okay, well, mine almost. I mean, when Jeff was going over his list, I thought for sure maybe he had stole mine or something. But for my list, I got Adams as number 1, of course, like everybody else said. Cooper Kupp as number 2. I have Deebo Samuel at number 3. I had 1,505
Good
yards
one, too.
last year for only 77 receptions. So I have him at my number 3. I have Justin Jefferson at number 4, and I have Jamar Chase rounding up the top 5.
See,
You notice
Deebo
one guy we
Samuel.
did not say? DeAndre Hopkins, and how good he's been. None of us said Hopkins this year, too.
Because he's been injured, man. You can't beat
1
top
year he's been
5.
hurt.
Yeah, that's like me picking. That's like me picking AJ Green. Come on, man. I like DeAndre Hopkins, but let's be honest, he's a clear jump ball receiver. That's all he does. Okay, you throw the ball down. I don't mind it. I love the game, but that's basically what he does right now. And until he gets out of the doghouse with the NFL, I can't put him in any top 5 lists yet.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You know what?
That's fair.
Screw it. I'm changing my list. I'm going Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, and Richie James. That's my top 5.
You can be on that list by yourself then. Be on that island by yourself.
Yeah, because every single one of them will be injured by week 3. So it won't even matter. They'll all be on the IR by that time.
So, no, I mean, we all pretty much had the same names, just little different spots. So that's cool.
I just got some breaking news if you want me to just drop it right now. Marshawn Lynch was arrested today.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait. What?
Marshawn Lynch was just arrested this morning in Las Vegas for drunk driving.
Oh, shit.
DUI. Just dropped about like a minute or 2 ago.
Man, who's going to talk to me about Subway?
Next question.
I don't get it.
Next question, yeah.
Bro, you got all that money, bro. Just fucking get an Uber. What is wrong with people, man?
Yeah, man.
Fuck. I get it. You're Marshawn Lynch, and you don't want to be caught dead in an Uber, but I'd rather be in an Uber than in jail.
You could also hire one of your bum friends to do your job. You know,
Yeah.
like hey, Jeff,
Ask
today
a
you're going to
family
be the D.
member.
Today you're going to be the DD. I'm going to pay you $1,000. Okay,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'll drive you wherever you need to go, Marshawn.
That's
And
exactly.
time don't matter. You guys need me at 4 in the morning, I'll be at 4 in the morning, no problem.
Exactly. You give me
What's going on,
$1,000.
Jordy Fighter?
The only reason Kittle isn't number one man on most of our lists, we've said it, Trey Lance. It's his first year starting. Probably going to have a rough start. You know, I'm not saying that he's not going to be good. He's just going to struggle a little bit because of the young quarterback that he's got and he's still learning. I mean, that's a reasonable explanation. I mean, if Trey Lance comes out here on all cylinders and keeps firing and they act like nothing happened, then, I was wrong. But, I mean, I just can't assume Lance is going to come in and everything's just going to take off. Like, there's going to be struggles. Doesn't mean that he's not as talented as what you're saying. It's just, it's part of the game. People
Totally.
struggle.
Players have down years too, you know. You never know. So.
And his struggle might not even be on him. It's more on Lance than it is him because he can only do so much. You know what I mean? Like, it all falls on Lance.
Yeah, and
Did we get Randy?
I don't know what he was talking about.
Did we get Randy's number one receiver or number 5?
He said Devontae Adams number 1. I think
I said Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase.
Oh, that's right. He said Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Adams, Cup, Samuel, Jefferson, Chase.
Wait, Brown got a DUI too?
What?
Yeah, Marquise Brown had a DUI last week.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh.
That's right.
Last year, so I thought he meant another one like now.
That's what I thought too.
No,
I was
no.
like, what? Another one? Like, what?
Huh.
Oh my god, man!
They're dropping receivers all over the place.
Those Cardinals, man. I don't know about them this year.
I remember.
I agree with you, but when you have to put a clause of studying for your quarterback in the damn contract, that tells me all I need to know about Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you know what's funny about
Exactly.
Kyler Murray is he acts like there's a surprise there. No mother flipping. You went to the New York Times and said, I don't study the playbook. I just use raw ability. That's in the New York Times. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he said. So you go to a publication, right, and tell them, oh, well, you know, I don't really need to study because I'm Kyler Murray. Well, guess what? That's why they put that clause in there. And then your dumb ass goes, well, how could this be? Like, no.
I'm better than that. I mean, look what I've done in my life. I've won a Heisman. I'm a 2-time Pro Bowler. I'm not your average size quarterback, but look at me. I can do it. It's like, chill out, bro.
I took my team to the playoffs.
Like I like Kyler Murray. Don't get me wrong, but you can't play dumb here. Okay, you can't play dumb. Like the internet exists. Okay, we can just look it up and find out that you're lying. All right, like come on, bro. Just be honest. Be like, yeah, maybe I should have done a better job last year. If he took ownership, I would respect the fuck out of that. I'd be like, you know what? I'd be like, you know what? Oh, that's cool, man. I get it. You want to get better study habits because let's be honest, you're 22, 23. You don't really care. You know, you want to go play video games, hang out. You got mad money. You don't give a damn about really studying. You know that you can the regular season, and then boom, you get hit in the playoffs in the mouth, and your teammates are looking at you like, yo, bro, maybe you shouldn't have played Call of Duty all night. You know, and there you go.
Get your ass
Now,
in the playbook.
the question I have, though, is because we have a quarterback, and I hate to get to him, Daniel Jones, who studies a lot, doesn't improve his play. So does it mean if Kyler Murray studies, will that make him a better quarterback? That's the question.
True.
Well, first off, you ain't putting it in someone's contract if he wasn't studying. If he was studying, that's not in his contract. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a given. If he's studying, you don't need to put it in there. You putting it in that contract and then retracting that statement just shows me this kid wasn't serious and he wasn't studying, or you wouldn't have had to put it in there.
Exactly. It's in the tea leaves. It's all right out there for us to read. It's just
So, All right, guys.
But the problem I have with that, the last point I'll make is like, then don't just lie to me and come out and make a statement like I do study and then you retract it, right? Because you didn't really retract it. I still know it's probably in the language. You just didn't want to make it public to make your quarterback look dumb. I think it was a motivational tactic, a la what I guess the Giants did with Kadarius Toney, where they're like, you better study more. Oh, 4 hours of study, you're going to lose millions of dollars. And everyone's like, oh my God, Kyler Murray doesn't study? Kyler Murray doesn't study. So then all of a sudden it gets on his ass like, dude, you better study or you're going to lose this money. And then he comes out with his representatives and goes, yeah, we study all the time. I don't know what they're talking about. I'm great. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, and I got a question. Does Kyler Murray kind of brush off to you guys as one of those guys who just try and make it purely off God-given talent and athleticism? Like he feels he's talented enough and it will take him further. He doesn't have to study. We kind of questioned that about Wentz a little bit. He felt he knew it all and he didn't have to study and that he could just get by with pure athleticism and shit. But, I mean, does Kyler kind of give you that vibe?
I think he gives me the vibe of he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if you look at his body language on the field, he reminds me of Cam Newton. When Cam Newton used to play, the one problem I had with him is, you can't be sitting over there pouting because you're losing the football game or it's not going your way. You just because the team is feeding off you. They're looking down the sideline for any hope, and you're their only beacon because you're on the field. The coach is going to be rah-rah no matter what. He could be that guy from The Waterboy, whoever, I forget what the guy was, Henry Winkler. Oh. When he's just like, oh, puppies and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, great. You know what I mean? Like, so you need your quarterback to be like, I got this shit, not sitting over there like, oh my God, our team stinks and blah, 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 putting a towel over your head. That's what Murray's doing. And to answer your question, AK, I do believe he thinks that his God-given talent allows him to have some leeway when it comes to studying. You know what I mean?
He just came out on an interview and he just said, he goes, what player has won the Heisman, drafted first overall as a quarterback, ninth overall as an MLB player? No one. He goes, I am a rare breed of quarterback.
Oh my God!
And I'm like listening to when he's talking, and I'm like, but you had a clause in your contract that said you had to study. You're not a rare breed, bro. You're lazy.
That's really helping you a lot right now in the pros right now, huh, Kyler? You made the playoffs once before, but your team, you're pretty much an underachieving guy at the same time for a number one pick. You should be ahead right now from where you are right now. And the only reason why you got paid that money is because we know what quarterbacks get in this league. And Arizona probably thought there was nobody else that could, in that draft that could give them the type of production that somebody like a Kyler Murray can. Kyler Murray's just got to stop worrying about his everything that he's done in the past, and stop just thinking that just because he's got a lot of talent, it's automatically going to get him to the next level as a quarterback. You need to be able to have a balance of both. Use your natural given ability, but be able to study. So when it comes down to it, you're going to be able to know the plays, and you're going to be able to know which plays are going to be the right ones to call during a game format. So you can put together the playbook and your talent.
And real quick, if I'm not mistaken, did Kyler Murray not win just one game after D-Hop got injured last year?
He was horrible without Hopkins. When
Hopkins went down, the offense was completely different. That would make me feel very uneasy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like so that you pretty much solidified you need D-Hop to be successful.
Yeah.
That should worry anyone.
I'm curious to see how he's going to do right now this first 6 games of the year without DeAndre Hopkins out there, without number 10 out there on the outside.
I don't know. Maybe he'll pout, because the thing about it is this: Kyler Murray is losing respect for me every moment he opens his mouth. Because the true great ones, like look at Michael Vick. Michael Vick even said it himself. He's like, dude, I would be in the Hall of Fame if I studied the playbook. He came out there and was outrunning cats because he had 4.2 speed, and no one saw that as a quarterback ever. So he didn't have to give a crap because he had other extracurricular activities, a la, what he got in trouble for, that he was doing, right? So my point is that if Kyler Murray wants to be a leader and not be the next Cam Newton, the guy who gets fizzled out of the league and then wonders why he's not starting quarterback anywhere, then you need to start to show up, to show out, because no one's going to care that you're Kyler Murray if you're losing football games or you're not winning. Because at the end of the day, we count Lombardis, regardless of how good you are. Brad Johnson is in Super Bowl lore. Some people think he's a great quarterback just because he's won a Super Bowl. So my point is, get there, do it the right way, stop being this flash and dash guy, because let's be honest, it's not like you're taking over the league. It's not like you're Justin Herbert, you know?
It's
They lost to,
you can't
they
have
lost to the Lions 30-12. Like
no, it was 42-6, wasn't it?
No, he got his ass kicked that game.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
it
That's
was
right. Yeah.
42-6 loss, man. It was terrible.
Like,
And what's bad about it is you can't sit there and say the guy still didn't have a good team after D-Hop was lost. I understand D-Hop is a very big piece, but dude, you still had Green, you still had Ertz, you still had Christian Kirk, you still had Elijah Moore.
James
Yeah.
Conner.
Connor was actually doing quite decent
Yeah,
at
Tremaine
He had a
Edwards,
crazy
too.
season. They got like 17 touchdowns or something crazy. Like,
I'm saying,
Man,
man, like
Tremaine Edwards has a good dash, like, a switch of pace running back. So they had a good offensive unit altogether. I agree.
exactly.
there's no excuses for what he did, man. Like
No.
It's just a bad attitude. And Cliff Kingsbury, he better get that kid's attitude in check, because if the Cardinals underachieved this year, guess who's probably going to be on the outs after this season?
Well,
Oh,
Jeff, you know what's funny? Cliff came out on NFL Live the other day. I was watching, and he said if the roles were reversed and he was the quarterback and Kyler was the coach, he doesn't think that he could play for Kyler. He said. So there might be something going on behind the closed doors now that he's got his contract. Now that this clause came out and that he wanted it removed, and there might be some turmoil inside the locker room there. So there might be something there to watch this season. So.
Well,
And
that to me tells me he's scapegoating his
Who's Adam?
yeah. No, to answer your question, Jog, I think he will definitely
Jets need a tackle.
Dillard-
They lost
Dillard's
Becton.
going to be a trade candidate for sure, man. I think so.
But we need to keep Dillard because we've injuries. Like it just like I don't know.
That's
Hey,
a
if we
big
play
loss.
around it though, we can. I mean, LaRaven Clark showed promise, so and he can play tackle, and if I'm not mistaken, he can also do guard. So
Guard.
I'm not too, that's something he has over Dillard. Dillard's only left tackle and left tackle only. At least Clark gives you versatility.
What about Driscoll? How's Driscoll looking for you guys?
Yeah,
He
he's on the right side, right?
might get cut, dude. And
Really?
dude, he had a bad he had a bad open practice Sunday.
Wow.
He was,
Shit.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, Driscoll. Maybe injuries save him. I don't know, but I'm just saying.
Depth. They might keep him just for depth purposes.
Maybe.
Since Lane Johnson has had injury issues.
Yeah, we'll see, man.
Whew. That's scary.
Yeah, no matter what, man. If we would trade Dillard, if we would get rid of Driscoll, no matter what, it does not matter, dude. Like my boy Philly D said here, we have the best offensive line coach in all of NFL, and probably damn near one of the best in history in all of NFL.
And our offensive line coach is going out there instigating fights.
But no matter what, bro, we can make it work. Stoutland proved time and time again we can make it work. So
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about it.
All right.
Yeah, no, dude, PG fucked Driscoll up. he put that boy to work.
I was saying something too with BG coming off that severe injury and he's bullying around Driscoll. I thought Driscoll was going to be your right tackle of the future after Lane Johnson eventually hung it up.
I thought so too, bro. He
Yeah.
looked good his rookie year,
Yeah.
there at the end of the season. But, no, man, I love watching Lane on Sunday night. Dude, he was standing Hassan Riddick up. Like, he was not even letting him by. Riddick could not do shit. Lane looks amazing.
Have you seen Evan Neal by any chance? How he's been looking? He seems to be getting a little bit better.
Yeah.
He stood up Kayvon Thibodeau on a couple of plays. So I think Evan Neal, it's going to take him some time to get used to the NFL game. But, I mean, Neal, I think, is going to be a really good tackle in the league, along with Andrew Thomas, who, I mean,
Yeah.
Andrew Thomas is going to be a problem for teams.
Yeah,
going through this year.
hear about
Tackle position.
man.
With who?
Gonna, your lineman?
Oh,
Is it-
yeah, McAnoo.
I think
Yeah.
Evan Neal is going to be. I think Evan Neal is going to be pretty good. The problem with Evan Neal is like here's what people need to understand about practice, right? You go up against those guys every day for how many weeks? You start to know the tendencies of Kayvon, right? You start to get to know him. You don't know no Bud Dupree. You don't know no Harold Landry. They're going to go test your ass. And if they're already hearing in practice, well, he's getting beat by O'Shane Zimenez, who probably shouldn't even be on the team anymore, by the way, is injured. So bye-bye O'Shane Zimenez. You know what I mean? Like that's the type of thing I'm talking about. So I look at practice with a different scope. You know, I look at things that they need to improve on, and who are they getting beat by, and why are they getting beat, right? Not necessarily like, oh, well, he'll get a C. Like, yeah, I know that's going to happen, but Bud Dupree, Bud Dupree's been there for God knows how long. He got some moves, man.
Yeah.
Our guy over here, MYG22, the biggest Kenny Galladay fan you'll find out there. He loves him. Loves Kenny Galladay. Number one receiver. Biggest fan of his.
Isn't he the biggest Daniel Jones fan? No, I'm kidding, NYG.
Yeah,
He's gonna come on the stream like start to go off on us. By the way, Adam, did you see by any chance the second team offensive line for the New York Giants that they're rolling out there? Because the Zudu's apparently hurt now too. Did you see that? You want to laugh? Go look at our second team unit for our offensive line. And
Don't say that.
You're gonna cry if you see it. How bad the depth looks.
Don't say that.
Listen, man, this team is not playing the first preseason game, so let's wait till we get to.
No.
Come back.
If I'm Tyrod Taylor, I'm probably asking for a raise. I'm probably going into Joe Shane's office and be like, yo, I need a raise, bro. And he's going to be like, why? Do you see the offensive line you're putting in front of me for the preseason games?
Oh, my God.
I'm going to be injured before I make it to the regular season. So it is, man. I feel bad. You know, the guy from Gano got a season-ending neck injury. That's football, man.
Wasn't
Marcus
Tyrod Taylor
McKeithen, our
the guy who
backup
got hurt
guard they
from
hurt
his
too.
one of the medical people? Didn't they puncture one of his lungs, giving him a needle? Wasn't that Tyrod Taylor?
Yep.
Yeah.
What's happening? Can't hear me?
Talk about bad luck. Yeah,
Los Angeles.
Can you hear me?
You were breaking in and out before, Adam.
Mhm.
Wi-Fi must be a little.
He's gone.
I'm sorry, but that video of Jordan Davis manhandling Cam, hand lotion Jurgens was just something to see. I'm sorry, like
Davis is going to be
Jurgens
good.
was trying to plant those legs every time. It was just
Jordan
like,
Davis
oh
is going to
my
be
God.
a monster for you guys. You guys got yourself a stud on that defense.
That's why I said don't say that about your offensive line, man, because you were like, oh, we're depth of shit. It's like, dude, don't say that, because if we unleash Davis on y'all, you are screwed, because I'm not even playing, bro.
Well, I don't mind our starting offensive line is if we get any injuries. I mean, I think that's where I worried about it. If we get injuries on that offensive line, then the Giants are going to be in trouble. And
I don't even think your starter truly has a chance, bro. He was even chucking.
Our starter's John Feliciano, and I don't love Feliciano at all.
No, I know.
Average.
I mean, dude, in all honesty, bro, he was moving Kels. He was moving Kels, and we all know Kels is damn near top 3 centers in all NFL, and he was easily moving him. You know, like
destroy Biadasz.
He's gonna mess everyone up, dude. Like I expect humongous things from this kid. I really.
The triple team his ass. Like,
why don't the Eagles try this? Why don't you put Hargraves, Davis, and Cox out there together at one point? All three of them at the same time.
That's what they're gonna do. That's gonna be your starting lineup. You're gonna have Cox, Davis in the middle, and you're also when we play 3-4, when we play 3-3-5 and 5-2, like, dude, yeah, they're all gonna be next to each other. And how are you gonna stop Cox?
That's our backup center, by the way. That's
Jamil
our
Douglas?
backup center.
Okay.
Jamil Douglas and Ben Bredesen, who's never played center before. He's just learning how to play now. So, prayers if our starter gets hurt.
Wow.
No, our Giants offensive line, Lemieux, Glowinski, and especially Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal cannot get hurt this year. They have to stay healthy, because if you put in guys like Will Holden, who we signed, Eric Smith are our backup tackles right now, and Matt Parrott, who he might have some upside, but he's coming off an ACL tear and probably won't even start the season. Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal, I would argue, are two of the most important players on this New York Giants team going into the season. If
So
either
your
one of
pillars.
them goes down, our two tackles, if either one of them goes down this year, I pray for Daniel Jones. Because if we
Well-
have to throw in Will Holden or Eric Smith at tackle,
Pylons.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
just sit DJ or whoever your quarterback is at that time, just to save face.
I do agree the offensive line has gotten better, but we have to see how they come together as a unit. It's going to take time for them to gel.
If anybody gets hurt, just run the shotgun and have the running back catch the ball and just run. Don't even let Daniel Jones throw the ball.
Just give it to
keep
Barkley.
continuously running.
Let Barkley go out there and have the ball all the time. Barkley's going to be able to do that.
And
Oh,
Josh,
wow.
you have seen my Lotto versus
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Jakeem Grant just tore his Achilles and is out.
Yeah, you
Yep,
got to get
on the
taken off.
Browns.
Yeah, you got taken off on a stretcher just before I came on this. Yeah, so there could be
Jesus.
more trade. Like everyone's talking, oh, they need to be hitting harder in practice. We need to be clanking pads. We need all, and yet all these soft injuries and now Achilles and ankles and groins. It's like, no, I think the teams know what they're doing. We don't want to be too aggressive because look what will happen. I know you want to have the body prepped for that long haul of a season, but I mean, I guess I don't know. I'm just rambling because it's so hard because you know you want them to hit in practice, but then you don't want them to get hurt. But then you also don't want them to get hurt during regular season on a soft tissue injury when they could have avoided that during preseason. So it's just like it's correct.
It's the NFL, though. These guys are going to get hurt anytime. I mean, look,
True.
nobody expected Mekhi Becton to break his kneecap, and now
True.
he's out for the year. Nobody
It's all
thought that
based
Ryan
on the
Jensen
depth,
would get
right?
hurt.
Exactly.
Anybody can get hurt anytime.
It's depth.
So
Yeah.
exactly. You just
You
got to
gotta
make
build
sure
depth.
you got to play. You got to play. If
Yeah.
somebody gets hurt, you have to try to go out there and try to find a Super Bowl replacement. It's the
Work with
NFL. Guys getting hurt. Exactly.
Exactly.
you back
It
out.
just sucks, right? It just sucks, man.
Adam,
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We hear you.
Broncos have
Fucking
interest in
Browns.
Rager.
So let's get these last two categories, man. That was a nice little tangent. We wasted a little bit of time. Now we can make it an hour for sure. How do you guys feel about your top 5 halfbacks for the 2022 season? Whoever wants to start can go.
I'll kick this one off first. My number one running back has got to be Jonathan Taylor. After what I saw from this kid last year, I mean, this kid is unbelievable. He's your prototypical running back, up the middle. He can bounce off on the side. He can even be a threat in the receiving game. Jonathan Taylor is my number one. My number 2, got to go with King Henry. I mean, until somebody says otherwise, I think King Henry can be the best running back in the league, but I just wonder if injuries and like the workload he's been putting on over the past couple of years is going to start wearing on this guy. So I still think overall he's still the second best running back in the league. Number 3, I'm going with Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is going to get a lot of workload in Cleveland, especially with the fact that Deshaun Watson is probably going to miss the beginning of the season, maybe even the whole season. And when you have Jacoby Brissett as your quarterback, guarantee they're going to be feeding Nick Chubb the ball a ton at the beginning of the season, and probably if Hunt's still there too, but especially Chubb, he's going to be a workhorse at the beginning of the season. My number 4, I would probably go with Dalvin Cook, another very good dual threat running back. So I think Dalvin Cook is going to be he's going to be a huge threat over there in Minnesota. He's going to do his thing. Number 5, I was sort of in a toss-up because I was thinking about going with Joe Mixon because I really like Joe Mixon as well as a dual running back for what he's been able to do in the receiving and the running game. But I'm not even trying to be a homer here. I really think Saquon Barkley is going to have a major season this year. Everything you hear about him, as Giants fans, we see him. I think Saquon Barkley is about to have a big-time season. Maybe like 1,600, 1,700 to possibly even like 1,800 yard season this year. I just think that this guy is going to be playing for a contract, and he's going to go out there and remind the league that he's still one of the best and most talented players in the NFL. So I think I'm going to put Saquon Barkley as my 5 with Mixon just outside on his number 6.
Cool. I'll go next.
Cool.
Okay, I got Jonathan Taylor as number 1 for all the same reasons that Jeff mentioned off. For number 2, I have Austin Eckler from the Chargers. I know they went out and got Isaiah Spiller to off him, but Eckler, go check his numbers, guys. Like, the guy is unbelievable. Can catch the ball at the backfield with the best of them. and again, now working with Herbert again now for another good full season, I just see great things. Number 3, I got Aaron Jones from the Packers. I just, I know they lost Devontae Adams, but I mean, the guy's a stud. So just feed him the rock and away we go. Number 4, I got Derrick Henry for the same reasons that Jeff did, but I also am worried about that workload. Is now the armor starting to show a little bit of wear and tear. And then number 5, I got Dalvin Cook.
I like it.
I like the Aaron Jones pick too.
So
I do.
I'll go with the next my top running back, Jonathan Taylor. He blew up the league last year, obviously. I'm going to go Derrick Henry because he had 1,000 yards, even almost 1,000.
No.
So that
Oh.
next one is can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
You were breaking up a little bit. We can hear you now. Adam?
Come back.
They don't
we
want us to
lost
hear your
Adam.
top 5.
Yeah.
If you don't mention
Nobody want to
Barkley,
hear your
you're
top
not
5, Adam. What's going
Well,
on, Big Blue in the Bronx?
I will go until he gets back. Okay. So my number 5 is Nick Chubb. I put him there because Kareem Hunt wants out. So if he gets out, Chubb's the main guy. He other than Johnson. Johnson probably. Yep, there you are. Go ahead.
Oh,
No.
You
Yep.
hear me?
Yes.
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 Go for it.
You hear me?
Yes.
Yes. We can hear you.
We can hear you.
I feel like the Verizon commercial.
Give me a break.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
Eagles
now?
fan, what's going on? Alex, what's going on? Everybody, thank you for coming into the chat today.
What's up, guys?
We appreciate
Okay.
everybody for coming into the stream. And if you haven't already, please hit the like button below for the Hardcore Sports Network, as well as all the channels right here on the screen. Thank you very much for coming to watch the stream today. I hope everybody's enjoying your Tuesday afternoon, and please stay cool. It's a hot one outside, so stay hydrated, stay cool, and let's continue to talk some top 5.
Even here in
Is it
Canada, it's warm too.
Eh?
So all y'all Canadians that are watching, it's warm.
15
It's
people.
warm up here, eh? It's warm up there, eh?
Eh?
It's warm up there, eh?
So yeah, I just got Nick Chubb at 5. My number 4, Aaron Jones. Losing Adams, man. I believe they're gonna rely a lot more on Aaron Jones this year, and also rely on AJ Dillon.
Dylan,
Yeah, both of them guys are going to get their touches this year for sure.
Quadzilla.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You back?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
We
sir.
can hear you.
I don't know what the fuck's going on, but it's pissing me off, man. I think Joe Biden's got my phone tab every time I talk about football. He's like, nope, you know. Anyway, my top 5 are as follows: Jonathan Taylor, because he's blowing up the league right now, and he's on the arguably the best team in the AFC South right now. Then you have Derrick Henry, because like I said before I got cut off, he almost had 1,000 yards last season without playing a full year.
Yeah.
Right. So that's that. And then what I like to throw in there is I'm going to put in Dalvin Cook at 3, but my bottom 2 are Barkley and Christian McCaffrey. I think Christian McCaffrey is going to really blow it up this year. He's got a lot to prove. Unless he's been injured, I don't know. Sometimes he sneezes and he gets injured. So, but if he stays healthy, I think him and the Panthers with that new revamped offensive line, Baker Mayfield, they're not going to want to rely on Baker throwing the ball 40 times a game. So they're going to want to get this guy. We're talking about dual threat running backs. He was one of the best in the league prior to his injuries. So, if he can get back to his form, I can clearly see him being, back in the top 5.
That's good 5. I like that.
I like it. All right, so like I said, my 5th one was Chubb. My 4th one was Jones. Number 3 for me, obviously, you guys have all had him on your list, Jonathan Taylor. You know, I
Wow.
believe. Now, the reason that I say that, though, is because
No.
Oh no.
Are you serious?
Are we losing
What
AK
is
now?
this? What is
That
that?
that's the NFL gods for telling you for putting Jonathan Taylor as your number
Yes.
3 running back, AK. What are
Yes.
you thinking? They're
Yes.
thinking you're putting Jonathan Taylor as number 3. Be
They're
going
like,
with
wait,
you.
wait. He's probably putting Sanders at 1. We got to cut this feed right now.
Yeah, get him out of here. He's gonna put Ezekiel Elliott as number 1 running back.
Yes,
Get him off the
yes.
stream right now. Put him over in backstage.
And the look on his face is priceless too. He's like kind of like Rick got into it. I
Adam,
love
you
it.
still there?
Oh no!
Did we lose Adam too?
Wow!
Oh no.
Oh no!
You know, actually, until they get the cameras straightened out, you know, actually, I think a couple of running backs that could be surprises this year: Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, and Najee Harris. I think
Yes.
the 2 UNC running backs could be surprised this year. Don't forget about Breece Hall. Watch out for Breece Hall with the New York Jets. I think that
Yes.
guy is going to be one of your favorites for like one of the best running backs coming out this year in terms of
He
rookie
could be
running back.
offensive
And
rookie of
Dameon
the year.
Pierce.
Yeah,
I
agreed.
agree.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
Breece Hall is going to be somebody that you're going to be looking at as a possible, rookie of the year offensively, because I think this kid's got
Yes.
incredible talent. And I mean, I just love him and Michael Carter. Either one of them could be guys that could step up. And I
Well,
agree with what Papa Sora says. Dameon Pierce for the Houston Texans is another guy. I think Dameon
Yes.
Pierce is going to be another guy that's going to also be a potential rookie of the year candidate in terms of the running backs over there. So look
You
out.
touched
Be
on-
on lookout for somebody like that too.
yeah. You touched on it, but I had Javonte Williams as my RB3 last year in fantasy, and him and Melvin Gordon as a two-headed monster on that Broncos team was unbelievable, man.
What about the kid from Buffalo that just got drafted?
Oh,
Oh
James
yeah,
Cook.
Dalvin Cook's brother.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook's brother.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think James Cook. I think that's the one thing that Buffalo was missing, and their offense this entire time was getting themselves a steady running
Agreed.
back. No disrespect to Devin Singletary or Zach
Yes.
Moss, but James Cook can be the type of guy that can put that offense over the top because you
They
put in a
think
dropped
guy.
the
that
ball
good?
too many times, Jeff. They would fumble the ball too many times in key situations, or they would just get stopped. Like they would just be stopped. So I think James
Absolutely.
Cook will bring that. He's going to bring that dog element to
He is.
the Bills. Yeah,
He's going to bring that dog mentality and also that versatility for being a guy that can not only run north and south, but could also bounce it out on the outside and be a good receiving threat over the
Catch
middle. So in
Yeah.
case they do some of those screen plays, you could just dump it off right over to James Cook and let him just take it off right over in the middle. So
exactly.
I agree with that. I think James Cook is going to be another guy that's going to be a potential sleeper with the running backs this year. So
Dalvin
But,
came
yeah,
out before the draft, and he goes, my brother, believe it or not, is the more talented one out of the two of us. He said so. Dalvin Cook
That's
is saying that
scary.
about his brother. That's scary, man.
that just shows you how much that James Cook's talent really is, because of the fact that we already know how good Dalvin Cook is, and this is a guy that came off a torn ACL and has still come
Yes.
back and put up very good numbers. And now you think he says his brother is more talented with him with Josh Allen there, and you got Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, who I think is going to take a big step forward as a number 2
Me too.
receiver. You got Crowder, you got Isaiah McKenzie. I mean, their missing piece on that offense was a running back.
Was a running back.
Now that James Cook is there, you have James Cook there. There's no reason why Buffalo's offense can be absolutely beyond dynamic going forward. So,
And if
but,
Tre'Davious
yeah.
White can come back healthy, that defense is going to be scary too, man.
and you add Von Miller, you add yourself
Yeah.
a Hall of Fame you add yourself a Hall of Fame pass rusher who just came off a Super Bowl championship with the Rams last year. You're telling me that's
Yeah.
not going to make that Buffalo defense even that more frightening? And they got a bunch of good young pass rushers on the outside as well. So,
Exactly.
but
No, I'm
what do you guys like until AK comes back? Like, who is your sleeper running back right now? You would say, like, just sticking with the running back theme. Who do you think is your sleeper running back? Who you think could be a guy that we're not talking about right now in the top 5, but could potentially be a guy that could sneak in there towards the end of the season?
Oh, I think we kind of touched on Bryce Hall there a little, or Breece Hall, however you pronounce his name there, a little bit about that. But what the heck? His name is escaping me there. Damian Harris of the Patriots.
Oh, wow.
He's secretly pretty good too, man. Like a lot of people don't really look his way, but he can tote the rock too. He's a pretty damn bruiser of a back. So, and it's the Patriots. I know it's running back by committee, but I mean, every time he got the ball, he seemed to do well with it. So, yeah, I would say keep my eye out on Damian Harris. Maybe you.
I was actually
Sorry,
going to say that one running back did not let. Don't worry about it, AK. We just try to keep the show flowing.
We're feeling.
No, you're good, man. I got a really bad thunderstorm here, and it made my lights flicker, which made my internet reset. So.
Oh, damn.
But-
Everything good? Is everything all good over there?
Oh yeah, just hard rain, man.
Well,
But
I was going to
I'll
say
do
a
my-
running back that nobody's really talking about. Oh, I'm sorry. Go finish your list first, AK, and then we'll.
Well,
'cause you
yeah,
you
so-
list too.
I had Taylor at three because I believe with Matty Ice there this year, I think they ran Taylor a lot more last year. The same reason we tried to run the second half of the season to take pressure off of Wentz. So I believe Taylor got overworked, even though he did just fine. We all know what he did, but I don't think they're going to have to do that as much this year with Matt being there. He's capable of running that offense. So. Maybe Najee has a step back and he doesn't have to do so much, but he'll still produce. Trust me. Henry at 2. Now this is where I lose everyone, man. Seriously. I have Henry at 2, and I have him every year in fantasy. It's no disrespect to him, man, but in all honesty, I have Najee Harris winning the rushing record this year. I think Najee.
That's not far-fetched.
Nope.
I honestly think Najee. Listen, man, they knew this was Big Ben's last year, this past season. I think Mike Tomlin ran this kid 300 times to make sure he could handle it, and he did not underachieve, dude. He's the first rookie to never fumble in an entire regular season. He never once fumbled the ball. He fumbled it in the playoff game one time. One fumble out of over 300 plus carries. That is truly amazing. Yeah, that is truly amazing, dude. He proved it. I believe Tomlin's going to unleash this kid. Yes, their offensive line isn't what it used to be, but they're growing, and I trust Mike Tomlin. Kenny Pickett, he's still a reasonable quarterback, I believe, and he'll be good. You got Trubisky over there. I think Trubisky is going to do a lot better than what people think he will, and their wide receiving core is still kind of dangerous. They're young but dangerous, So I just expect a lot from Najee, man. Truly, I think Najee is going to bust out this year.
Well, Najee, he had 307
I agree. That's a good
rushing attempts, but he also had 74 receptions.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was that offense, bro. He really was.
The guy
Yeah.
had almost
He was.
1,800 all-purpose yards. So yeah, he 1,200 rushing and 467 receiving.
And they're going to use that hell out of him, dude, to take the pressure off Trubisky and Pickett, whoever they choose as the starting
Their
quarterback.
QB. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good. I
Here's a
actually
running
like
back that
that's a good
nobody's
play.
really talking about is Antonio Gibson. People sleep on Antonio Gibson's skill set over there at Washington. That guy's another very good dual threat running back. I personally like Antonio Gibson over there, and especially now that McLaurin has he has other receivers out there, and with Carson Wentz as if Washington fans are wanting Carson Wentz to succeed, Antonio Gibson has got to be the type of player that he was not a couple of years ago, because he is a very good running back. People sleep on this guy's talent, but Gibson is a very talented running back in this league. He's got to be another guy that's got to bounce back too. It's the theme of the NFC East running backs, bounce back.
And let me give you 2 more here, and these are just some favorable nominees for me. 1, James Robinson from Jacksonville.
I fully forgot about that guy.
I'm a huge fan of Robinson. I have him every year in fantasy, dude, and unfortunately Urban Meyer fucked me last year, truly, by not using him. But I think Doug will use him because he is effective.
Urban Meyer.
And then Swift from Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah.
DeAndre Swift is really nice, dude. It's just because he plays for Detroit, he doesn't
hurt a
really
lot.
credit. Yeah, but
That's true.
Sure.
Travis
I don't know, he's a
Etienne,
smaller
weren't they going to
running back.
use him? Weren't they going to use him as a slot anyway? Wasn't like that their idea?
Yeah, I think they're going to use him more as a receiving back, more than anything. He's going to probably be a do-it-all running back. They're going to probably use him like the Cowboys are going to use Pollard. like the Giants are probably going to use Barkley, like the Saints have used Kamara.
You know, what's
like
funny
they
is
do
that
it all
nobody
running
put
backs.
Ezekiel Elliott on their list.
Because their offensive line's going to be not that good.
I'm just saying, he can produce still.
That's a
Only
very
six, a top
good
5 running
question,
back.
Joey. And I don't know how to answer that, bro.
Well,
They-
I think it's going to be Chenault.
My only thing is they got a lot more rebuilding yet to do. I mean, trust me, Doug's going to get the full capability out of this team. He is a player's coach. You know that players play for him hard. But pause, I guess. One of the things though is they just got a long ways to go yet. I know they had Marvin Jones Jr. last year, right?
They
The
still
wide
have
receiver.
him, I believe.
He did actually pretty decent last year. Like they have some
They have
talent.
Laviska Chenault, too.
And I love Chenault, but they weren't using him right the
No.
first couple years. Maybe Doug does. I don't know, man. It's so hard to say. Like the capability.
You know how they need to use Chenault? They need to use him like the Falcons use Patterson. That's how you got to use Laviska Chenault. This guy's a dual threat player. After how he was used in college, you got to take advantage of his full skill set. He could be put in the backfield. He's got good size. You put him in the slot on the outside. This guy is a do-it-all type receiver, like a Deebo Samuel too. He's got good size as well. So you really got to take advantage of his full skill set with him on the field.
Looks like
And
look at their roster.
might
It
be
looks
going
like
with it,
actually
too.
Kirk might be the starter because if you look at it, other than Marvin Jones Jr., they got Zay Jones, Laviska Chenault, like you just mentioned there, Jeff, Laquan Treadwell, and
Yeah.
then other than
my
that,
God.
there's really just no
Treadwell.
one. They got
Laquan
Evan
Treadwell.
Ingram as their tight end. Evan
Yeah,
Ingram.
and he's still dropping passes in practice. Go watch his highlight film. It's all tips and pass drops and stuff.
So that's what I'm saying, man. We got a lot of work.
It must be mental with that kid, I'm telling you. Because if you're that bad and you're dropping passes in a different spot, then it has to be mental with that kid. And the thing about that guy's question, I don't think Kirk is a number one. They paid him like a number one.
Yes.
So, he has to be a number one in terms of the pay rate they gave him. I agree. He's good. He's good, but is he a game changer? I don't think so.
Well, see,
I
here's
think
the
he's a
thing.
low end number 2, high end number 3.
I think
Agreed.
Doug looking at the situation where he was like, well, listen, they had D-Hop there. He never really got his time to shine. He was in the slot, blah, blah, blah. Let's pay him as a number one and see what he's got. Who knows? Dude, this is his time. He got $20 million. You went to Jacksonville. There is no expectations for Jacksonville. Trust me. You went to the perfect place. Go out there and do what the fuck they paid you to do. That's all you need to do. If he can prove that, then sure, his money was worth it. But I can't say it. He definitely got overpaid for his production in Arizona. But is the
Absolutely.
potential there? Obviously, Doug thinks so.
I mean, I guess so. But to me, it was a buyer's market. He was there at the right time because, if anybody else came out that was better than him, they probably would be in Jacksonville right now. But there was not that many guys that were better than him, and here we are.
Sure.
And here we are. We're paying a guy that shouldn't be paid the money that he's paid. Listen, I'm not telling you shouldn't earn it. You earn it. Go earn your bag. You know what I mean? That's what you're doing. You're set up for life. Well, hopefully, if they don't blow it on dumb investments, but you're set up for life.
Yeah.
Well,
Nice.
last year was his greatest season as a wide receiver, and he had 982 receiving yards on 77 receptions. But before then, the greatest year you want to say he had was back in 2019. He had 709 yards on 68 targets, and that's it. That's all. For
Okay,
him.
well-
Good number 2.
But like what AK said, Doug Peterson must have some type of plan for this guy. Otherwise, they wouldn't have went to got him. Because if you think about those numbers, those are not pedestrian numbers, but numbers that I think a second round pick, which he was, equates to. Those are the numbers I would hope. Okay, yeah, you're a solid second round pick. We didn't draft the bust here, but the way you're paying him, it must mean that Doug knows something that we don't know. And that guy, believe it or not, is smarter than the average bear, Doug Peterson.
Yes.
Okay. He'll figure something out. He already is in love with Trevor Lawrence. I know he is because this guy is not Carson Wentz mentally. He's got everything you want, right? And more. He can run, but I wouldn't want to put him in that position. I think a lot of these guys that run in college aren't really supposed to be runners in the NFL. They just make them that way. Oh, we want to run the RPO. Okay, go get your quarterback injured, you dumbasses. Like, come on.
Exactly.
I didn't know
What's
this.
going
Kirk's
on,
only
Vic?
5'11". I didn't know that. He's only
What's up, Vic?
5'11".
How you doing, brother?
Yeah,
All right.
when he came out, he looked like a knockoff of Odell. Like, oh, okay, I see some of the traits that are similar, but Odell, the difference between Odell and a lot of other receivers was his hip game was crazy. Like the way he could twist his hips was like against Sheldon Brown, against the Eagles receiver. I forget who he was. The Eagles corner turned all the way around while Odell just flipped his hips one way and was gone. So I've never seen hip turn that good.
Right.
So this is going to be the one that thrills me too. When we talk QBs, everybody has a different way of looking at their QBs and their top five.
We're all going to get deep breath for that one. Yeah,
we're all going to get shit on for this one. I know it. We're all going to get shit on for this. I know it.
Yeah. No, and that's why I kept it just top five, man. Just something simple, sweet, and so.
We all agree number one is going to be Daniel Jones.
Oh my God, you got my list. I'm out. You got my list.
Daniel Jones. I thought you were going to say Tua Tagovailoa.
Two is my number three.
Well, are we doing top five worst quarterbacks in the NFL, or are we doing top five starting quarterbacks?
You might have three of them in the NFC East.
Yeah.
Three of the top ones might be in the NFC East for worse.
That's terrible.
The point of this is to get views, not scare people away.
Hey, you never know, man. You never know. You say something crazy like Daniel Jones is your number one receiver, you might get a million views just alone. Most polarizing guy in the NFL right now.
He is.
That's
Oh
just.
my God, he is.
All right. So who wants to go first? Who wants to eat the crow?
Adam, you go first this time.
Oh, joy. Oh, joy.
He's just
Yeah, go. Boom, boom, boom. Here's a bus. Well, I'm going to go number one, Justin Herbert. Okay, that's my number one quarterback. I don't care what y'all say to me, how I look, or how you're looking on the screen right now, because it doesn't really matter to me. He's my number one.
Okay.
Then my number two is Patrick Mahomes. I gotta give respect to my boy Patrick. I loved Patrick. He's now the side piece. If you want to look at it, Justin Herbert's now the main one. So, and so then number three, some people are going to be thrown off by this one, but I'm going to go Joe Burrow, only because some people would say Aaron Rodgers here. I'm going to go Joe Burrow. The boy's a bad man. We got to put respect on the kid's name. Some people don't want to say, "Oh, well, we played for the Bengals." I'm like, dude. He throws 4,000 yards. Him and Jamar Chase did something that nobody else would do. It's crazy.
And coming off that injury, going right straight to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, everybody forgets he tore his ACL as well.
Yeah.
And then number four, I'm gonna give respect to where respect is given, and that's to Matthew Stafford. Okay, the guy, they don't win a Super Bowl without Matthew Stafford. Period. End of story. Hands down, they don't win that game without him. You put Jared Goff in that, or Jimmy Garoppolo, we're probably talking about the Bengals hoisting the first Lombardi ever, right? But you have Matthew Stafford, who doesn't get the credit that he deserves. Okay, Then I guess I'll go with number five is Mr. TB12 down in Tampa Bay. Obviously, got to give respect to the GOAT. I know a lot of people don't like him for various reasons, and that's fine, but the guy is 40-something years old and still playing like he's 27. So I will put him at number five.
Makes you want to go vegan, don't it?
It really does.
Oh, yeah.
For my top five, I got to put this guy number one because I think we're just about to watch the revenge tour of Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is going to be the best quarterback in this league because of everything that happened with this kid last year and the fact that the Buffalo Bills were pretty much on the doorstep. If they found a way, they need to find a way to get past the Kansas City Chiefs. If Josh Allen can just get past the Kansas City Chiefs, the Bills are probably going to be in the Super Bowl this year. And I really think
Charles Barkley could get past Michael Jordan, he'd have an NBA championship right now.
I know. If, buts, yeah. If there were candies and nuts, we'd all be rich. But I think that Josh Allen is going to have a major season this year. I think him and the Buffalo Bills team are on a mission, and I think Josh Allen is going to have himself an MVP season this year. So I'm going to actually put him as my number one quarterback. Number two, I'm actually going to put Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert is going to have himself a big year as well. I just think that this kid's got it all. He's got the throwing, he's got the escapability. He's good with his downfield throwing. He's good with underneath, intermediate. I think he's my number 2 guy. Number 3, I got to put Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I just got to see how Patrick Mahomes is going to operate now without Tyreek Hill there, without that deep threat. But I still think Patrick Mahomes is going to get his. Number 4, I'm actually going to go with Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow is going to have himself another big year over there in Cincinnati. He's still got all his playmakers, and Joe Burrow, coming off a major injury last year, played great. So what he's going to be like coming off a second year since he tore his ACL, I think he's going to even be better with even a better offensive line, because they upgraded on the worst part of their team, which was that offensive line that pretty much lost that Super Bowl with them too, because they could not protect Joe Burrow with anything, and they still made it to the Super Bowl that time. And number 5, I actually agree with Adam. I got to give it to Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford's got to get the credit he deserves. Underappreciated quarterback. All he did was play very well in Detroit. Nobody gave him the respect because of how bad Detroit was. Gets traded over to the Rams. All he does goes out there, play great, has great synergy with Cooper Kupp. They go out there and win a Super Bowl. So I got to give respect to Matt Stafford. So I'm sorry to all the Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady fans. Too bad they're not in my top 5.
Wow.
What's going on at Philly halftime?
Yeah, what's going on halftime? Yeah.
I'll go next.
Go for it, big guy.
Okay, number 5, I got Joe Burrow for all the same reasons that Jeff and Adam all mentioned. The same thing. I just feel like with an upgraded O-line, the sky's the limit for those guys. Plus what him and Jamar Chase did, unbelievable. Number 4, I got Matt Stafford. Of course, he finally got the monkey off his back. Nobody said he could ever do what he did last year. Got that ring. Number 3, I have Patty Mahomes. Of course, the only reason why I have him there is look at his accolades. Don't need to say any more. Don't need to say any less. Number 2, I hate doing this because I hate the man, but I got Tom Brady. He's a cheater. He's a fraud. He's all those things in between, and he's got 6 rings. Whatever.
Don't hide your feelings for him.
And then number 1, I got Aaron Rodgers, just because he won the MVP, and in my eyes, he's the MVP until someone takes him off or takes him out this year. But so Aaron Rodgers, there's my top 5.
How do you feel about MYG's comment right there too, real quickly before you go?
Allen, Mahomes, Rodgers, Burrow, Herbert. If Watson plays, he's top 5.
If Watson plays, he's top 5. Man.
You guys agree with that, or?
I mean, have you seen Watson's stats? I mean, you put them both side by side comparables. I mean, Watson's a little bit better than Stafford, but
Yeah, but I gotta give credit to doing what you did in the biggest game of the year. Okay, I understand. Watson, you haven't played in a year and a half. I can't put you in my top 5 until you produce. It was his numbers for 2020, top 5. Yes. Are they probably the best numbers for a quarterback on a 4-13 team? Yes, they were 4,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions or something like that. I give it to you. You are good when you play. But right now, he hasn't played, and I can't put him there right now because he's going to miss 6 games in that Cleveland Browns offense, who, although I like Amari Cooper, don't know if they're going to be as explosive as you think.
fair enough.
Yeah. All right, man. So mine. There's only one person on my list y'all don't have. Other than that, I'm right there with you. Number 5 for me is Aaron Rodgers. Now I put him there because he is back-to-back MVP, and until somebody dethrones him, I have to give him his credit where it's due. You know, this dude has had a tremendous career. The only thing that plagues him is that second Super Bowl. You know, but hands down, man, he's definitely one of the most accurate quarterbacks to ever play the game. I mean, he has less than 100 interceptions in his whole career, and he has like 18 years already. So that's just fabulous, man. Number 4 for me is Matthew Stafford. Obviously, you know, you got to give him credit. Going from Detroit, going to the Rams, winning a Super Bowl very next year. That just shows that team was holding him back. You know, and Matthew has always been a good quarterback, dude. He was just in a shitty situation in Detroit. Number 3 for me is Josh Allen. You know, everybody loves Josh Allen. Very talented individual, and he is Buffalo. Like, let's not lie. Without Josh Allen, they'd be nothing. Number 2 for me is Herbert. I've always been a Herbert supporter. You know, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams both had 1,000 yards last year. There's no reason that they should not be able to do that again this year. Defense got better for him. So, yeah, man, Herbert should be phenomenal this year. But there's a reason I had Adams at 1 at wide receiver, and there's a reason that this guy is number 1 at quarterback.
I know you're going here.
Carr is number
Wow.
1. I'm telling you, bro, this Carr Adams matchup is going to be phenomenal to watch. His senior year in college, Adams had 1,800 yards, I believe, with Carr. Like, dude, like I said, you had Adams leave Aaron Rodgers for this man. So obviously Adams knows something.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, this
Well,
team.
when you think about something like that, like you just said, don't mean to cut you off. Didn't Joe Burrow just hang with his guy Jamar Chase and have an incredible year? So I wouldn't be surprised if there's something to what you're saying. Is like, well, I played with Derek back at Fresno State. That's where they played, and there's something else to that.
Yeah,
My
chemistry.
Part two, man, is back in 2016 when Derek Carr was going for MVP that year. It was Amari Cooper. Okay, what does Adams bring to that offense? That Amari Cooper effect, that dude you always have to be worried about. That's when Carr was at his best. He now has that again in Adams. And then you add in Renfro, and you add in Waller, but yeah, their second string wide receiver. What's
Matt Collins, I think. I think it's Matt Collins.
Yeah, it might
Cole,
be
I believe.
Mikey Hollins or whoever it is. But the fact is, bro, that Raiders defense and offense, they're going to be disgusting, and they're being slept on. So I'm just saying it, bro. Carr's my dark horse MVP this year.
It's a bold pick, but you know what? It's not really that far-fetched because of all the points you just brought up. I mean, I think the one thing that could derail that Raiders offense is that offensive line, because I don't know if their offensive line is that good. The skill positions are very good. The defense should be solid, but I don't know about their offensive line. I mean, they did draft Alex Leatherwood, of all people, to play tackle, and he ended up being so bad they had to move him over to guard. So I just don't know if that offensive line is going to be solid enough. That's the only reason why the Raiders could probably be held back from doing what they should be doing on offense. But, yeah, there's a reason why I picked the Raiders as my team to win the division, too, like you did, AK.
Well, if they're winning the division, then he's going to be the MVP of the league. Because there's no way with Herbert and Russell Wilson and all them guys. There ain't no way that he's not going to be top 5.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just not sleeping on him, and I know there's a lot of people out there. I mean, obviously, NYG. He's and he thought his opinions were unpopular. Dude, you can hate it all you want, but the facts are fucking facts. I mean, you act like Derek Carr hasn't played at a high level before. He has. And I was with Amari Cooper, who is a number 1 wide receiver.
He had 4,800. He had 4,800 yards last year without Devontae Adams. Now you're telling me you're going to bring in Devontae Adams, not change the personnel up on him too much more, and then expect him to have less of a season? I don't know.
Raiders throw the football. That's what they do. I mean, my God, he was out there making Nelson Aguilar at one point look awesome.
Yeah.
You understand what he went through? He lost Henry Ruggs after what happened with him. He had Brian Edwards as one of his guys. He had Zay Jones. No disrespect to Brian Edwards and Zay Jones. He had pretty much Hunter Renfro as his one guy. And remember, Darren Waller missed a lot of time last year with injuries. Now he's getting a healthy Waller. Renfro is locked up to a long-term deal. You just brought in Devontae Adams. We know what this kid could do. Yeah. I mean, that's the reason why you have to be excited about the Raiders. Their team is the definition of explosive on offense. They're going to be running up and down the field on offense.
Were you saying that? Were you saying that in 2016 NYG? Were you? Good, because he lit up the league that year, bro. He would have had it if it wasn't for tearing his ACL.
Cooper and Crabtree, I believe, are both 1,000-yard receivers too.
He can do it. You just haven't seen it in so long because, in all honesty, his wide receivers haven't really, been that underachieved for what they should have been. I mean, you can only work with so much. Now you give him the best wide receiver in the NFL and you expect him not to be an MVP candidate? That's just nonsense. That's crazy.
Exactly.
A lot of people might think of him as like a Kirk Cousins type.
Technically,
like
it's your top five.
Yeah.
Technically, it's your top five, right? So if it's your top five, then it shouldn't matter who it is, you know?
I'm just
yeah.
point, and that's all, you know. Like,
I don't
That's
think
what I
he's
said right
outlandish
before
at
we
all.
did this. I was like, as soon as we say this list, there's going to be a bunch of people who are going to be butthurt. So just get ready for it.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, it's already. Look at the chat.
Exactly,
Everybody's already
yeah,
getting
exactly.
crazy about it.
What is wrong with you guys? You're
What are
wrong.
you talking about? You have no idea what you're talking about. This guy sucks. This guy's much better.
That Canadian
That's our
guy only
opinion.
watches CFL. He must only know about hockey.
He only knows about the Toronto Argonauts, you know what I mean?
This guy only knows about the Toronto Maple Leafs. And do they even play hockey up there? He's like, what? No, that's NFL. What is this guy even talking about?
Yeah, what does he know about the NFL? He just only talks about hockey.
Right.
Jesus. It's his
funny.
opinion. I don't think it's that
It's
outlandish.
I can't
No,
wait.
It's not that outlandish.
It's not that outlandish. No, not considering what the team has done and put around him.
Oh,
to
stop
succeed.
it, Coles. Oh, Coles, cut it out. Dak's not going to be number one.
Number one and choking, maybe.
Yeah. Dak's going to be probably outside the top 10. I think he's going to be outside the top 10 this year because.
Thank you, KD. NYG was making me feel stupid. I appreciate you backing me. It's not fun, man. It's really
It's not about feeling stupid. We did a top five list. This is what you think, you know?
Yeah.
Now, we also said at the beginning of this that if this doesn't happen, we're going to look like a bunch of morons. You know what I mean? So, like, this is where we're going to look like morons. But if you happen to be right, let's say, hypothetically speaking, the Raiders are in the AFC Championship game, right? And they're playing to go to the Super Bowl. You might be onto something because I know Jeff is already picking them to win the division. So, to me, if that's the case, he will be in the running for, you know, offensive MVP and probably the top quarterback in the NFL.
Exactly.
I got to talk to Coles for a second. Coles, why do you think that Dak Prescott is going to be an MVP when he lost to Amari Cooper? Michael Gallup's hurt right now. Ezekiel Elliott might not be the same guy.
Because he's a Cowboy fan.
Clearly, yeah, but even Cowboy fans, like some Cowboy fans have come back.
Come on, that's like me saying Daniel Jones could be MVP candidate. Give me a break.
Coles did Jerry Jones
already put out the banners, Adam.
us, bro?
Huh?
Oh, I asked Cole if Jerry Jones paid him to come in here and troll us like that.
That's gonna make the shit.
You know he's on Jerry Jones's payroll. You know he's on Jerry Jones's payroll.
Is that Jerry Jones or Steven Jones?
Either one. He's on a Jones's payroll. Most likely Jerry, because Jerry's crazy. Steven would be like, "Oh, don't go troll that thing." He's like, "That's not what we need to do here." Jerry will be like, "Yeah, just troll him, Cole. If you know you want to do it, I'll give you $1 million to troll him, Cole. Come on, you know you can do it."
He's rich.
That's Jerry Jones, man.
Yeah, Jerry's probably like,
And by the way, mention that Zach is way better than Hurts. Just mention it all the time.
He's like, don't forget about the feet. You know, that's what me and Mike McCarthy
Just
bonded over.
watch those highlights of him twerking his hips. When he does those highlights, when he twerks his hips and those little.
He's like, I'll give you $1 million. We're the Dallas Cowboys. We don't need to troll, but we're going to troll. Okay, we're the new age of football here. Okay, AK, I got to keep speaking because I'm Jerry Jones and I don't know how to stop. All right, so I just got to keep going and tell you how great Cowboys are, and we're never going to see a losing season ever again.
We're gonna
you
win
know,
the
we were
Super
going to
Bowl
call them
every
the
single time in
Cowgirls,
June.
but that was already taken. So we went with Cowboys because it just sounds funny.
I think it's gonna be a middle of the quarterback.
I just wanted to answer this. Like, dude, I get what you're saying, man, but Carson Wentz and Derek Carr are two different people. Carr does not have a mental issue like Wentz does. Like, I understand Carr hasn't been back to it, but Carr hasn't been back to his MVP form because of the lack of talent he's had around him since the 2016.
Well, I mean, like 4,800 yards is pretty good. I don't know what else you want the guy to do. Stand on his head and break dance? Like, give me a break. Now you're going to give a guy who had what? How many touchdowns did Devontae Adams have last year? 10? Something.
Let me put it this way. In 8 years with Green Bay, Devontae Adams has had 72 touchdowns.
Okay.
So, there you go.
So he's going to come to, let's just say he comes to Oakland and he's not going to have as many, but he's probably, I'm going to say over under. He's going to, if I'd say over under 7, I'd say over. I think about 8 or 9 touchdowns he's going to have this year. I just think
Adams had 11 touchdowns last year for 1,553 yards. So
okay, so now you give Derek Carr, who is maybe not as good as Aaron Rodgers, but look at what we just talked about. Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller are both on that team. At some point, he's going to be singled up. At some point, he's going to be the guy where they're like, well, what do we do, right?
yep.
And no lie, Renfro is a way better number 2 to him than he's ever had in Green Bay. Like, Lazard was good, but he isn't no fucking Renfro. And Valdez-Scantling was decent, but he ain't no damn Renfro. Like, these guys are nowhere near Renfro, so he's got even more help.
Renfro's elite.
Yeah, so that should help him out even tons more. Because now you got to worry about Renfro. Before, you didn't have to worry about them as much because Lazard and Valdez would drop balls here and there. They were inconsistent. Renfro is not that way. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna hurt going against this offense. It really is.
He had 169 targets and 123 receptions off that.
Yeah.
Last
Yeah,
year.
Renfro is disgusting.
No, that's Adams. Sorry, that was Adams. That's Devontae Adams.
Remember where McDaniels came from. He came from New England. I just named you the personnel they had on New England. They had Randy Moss and they had Wes Welker. Think of that like that. Now you add in a Darren Waller to that mix. You have Devontae Adams, who's Randy Moss, Wes Welker, who's Hunter Renfrow. This
Hunter
is how.
Renfrow had 103 receptions
Waller
for
is their
1,038 yards last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not think that Carr won't potentially be an MVP or at least be in the talk when you have two dudes that can catch the ball over 100 times? So it's like, come on.
Injuries and offensive line will be the reason why that offense doesn't
I was just going to say that, Jeff. No, the only caveat would be that offensive line.
Plus, he has Waller, dude. He didn't even have that in Green Bay.
And
Now, granted, they did have that dude, with the what's his face? It's how do you say his last name? Their tight end, Green Bay.
And Tunyon? Robert
Tunyon.
Tunyon.
Robert Tunyon.
Tunyon was not bad. Like, don't get me wrong. Tunyon's good, but he ain't no fucking Darren Waller. You know?
Waller's better. Waller's got more talent. And don't forget about the running game. They have Kenyon Drake and they still have Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
It seems like they can't wait to get rid of Josh Jacobs. I know they drafted a running back, I think, early, but Josh Jacobs is still pretty talented. And Kenyon Drake is probably one of the better backup running backs in the NFL.
And then Crosby with then you max Crosby with Jones on the defensive side of the ball, dude.
And didn't you mention Diablo as like a guy that could break out at linebacker?
Yeah, Diablo's he's gonna be. Yeah, I have a feeling he's gonna be awesome for them.
It's their secondary that's probably the biggest concern on their defense. It's probably that secondary.
Yeah, the Raiders drafted Zamir White, that kid from Georgia.
But they did lose Casey Hayward. I mean, Abrams has had injury problems. He's probably not going to be there. I don't know about their other safeties on that team. The secondary is probably going to be their biggest weakness in terms of their – probably might even be their whole team is their secondary because I think teams are going to be able to pass on them are going to be able to pass on them consistently.
That is dope. I love that.
I love that, Nick. I love that username, too. Henry McCrinkle Dinglot.
No, all I see now after reading that is the beginning of Men in Black 2, where that chick eats that person and then goes back behind the shirt and then throws it back up. That's all I see now.
I just think about the hillbilly farmer in the first one.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Edgar.
What suckers? It don't matter. In fact, the 3 seconds won't even matter.
Well, bro, listen. First off, dude, I'm not ranking these guys as who they are right now. I'm saying who they're going to be at the end of the year. Like, he's not top 5 right now for sure. But with the additions they made this offseason, listen, I'm telling you right now, if Derek Carr is not a top 5 QB at the end of this year, and he is not an MVP candidate, running, Derek Carr is not going to be the quarterback of that team the following year. Like, you can't beat Derek Carr, miss the playoffs after making it last year and getting D-Hop and all these weapons and expect to not have to perform. Like, this, he better come out and have almost 5,000 yards passing and like 48 touchdowns.
Yeah,
No lie.
he's got to step up. No excuses. for
If he has the same numbers as last year, he has to have at least 30 touchdowns to go with
Yeah.
those numbers.
Yeah.
Because
I
last
agree.
year he
has to lower
had 23.
He has to lower that interception.
Is it-
He
is
had
it
24
inconceivable?
touchdowns to 12 interceptions?
Huh?
Is it inconceivable he could pass close to 5,000 yards?
Yes.
Yeah. He
Is
could
it
do
that
it.
crazy?
With these three wide receivers, no, that he can. I mean, you got Waller, Adams, and Renfro. That's not crazy at all. I don't think so.
You know who could actually else do that? I think Burrow could get close. Remember the playmakers Burrow's got with
They have
Higgins,
the
Chase,
best
and
wide
Boyd.
receiver core in the NFL, bro. They have 3 starting wide receivers instantly.
3 number ones.
Yes.
3 number one receivers. Boyd is good. People forget how good Tyler Boyd has been over the
Tyler
years.
Boyd's good. Yeah.
And he's
Yes.
their number 3. So
I like
that's
Higgins a lot.
This is scary.
I like Higgins a lot, dude. Higgins,
too.
oh my god, dude. Like,
I like Higgins a lot too.
Chase takes a lot away from him, but Higgins is a beast, dude.
I think Higgins is one of those. Nobody really talked. Everybody gave all the talk to Chase. You know what Higgins did? He just went there and quietly had over 1,100 yards last year.
Yeah.
And about 60, 70 catches. So I mean, Higgins is a damn good receiver too.
What did Boyd have? Did he get close to 1,000?
He was
or
like, I think he had like 800, 900 yards. All 3 of them almost got 1,000. I think Boyd was just under 1,000 last year.
Man, if he can break this year and have 3 wide receivers with 1,000 yards, I will bow to the man.
Boyd
Literally,
at 828.
That's disgusting.
828.
Yeah, he had 67 receptions for 828 yards and 5
Wow.
touchdowns.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I think the last time there were 3 wide receivers at over 1,000 yards was when Kurt Warner had Steve Breston, Anquan Bolden, and Larry Fitzgerald. I believe all 3 of them had 1,000. And also, Peyton Manning had Brandon Stokely, Reggie Wayne, and Marvin Harrison back, I think, in 2004, 2005, I believe. They all had 1,000. So if any team's to be able to have 3, it's going to be the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
T. Higgins had 74 receptions for 1,091 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Well, you also got to think they don't have a tight end anymore, really, right?
No, they
CJ
lost-
Azuda
Yeah,
is not right. He's gone, so I'm sure they're gonna,
Hayden Hurst.
yeah, but he wasn't that great in Baltimore, Atlanta, wherever he was.
What up, Backyard Birds?
But you know what? I still think he's no CJ Azuma, and with that team, that's why I think, man, Joe Burrow and this team, they're poised, man. They got there, they got the chip, they didn't lose by a lot, they only lost by 3 points, and it's only because of their offensive line and Aaron Donald, who, by the way, is going to Hall of Fame. I forgot to mention that they lost the game. You know what I mean? It's like they got that turnover inside Rams territory, and then they went 3 and out and got sacked and only could do that field goal to win the football game, right? If they score a touchdown, the Rams still lose.
Yeah. Yeah, no, man, that's all I say about the Raiders, man. The last 2 years, this whole franchise has been put through the ringer. Like, truly, they have, between the coach and Brown and, everything, man. And then you got Hollywood Brown thing. Like, dude.
Speak of the Raiders, look who shows up. Talk
Yeah,
about the Raiders and look who
My
shows
God,
up now.
I've been supporting the shit out of you this stream, bro. You should have been here. Go back
Yes.
Yeah.
Eric, he's got your back, bro. He's got your back 100%.
I'm just saying, man. Like it's, I don't even care. It doesn't even matter.
I don't disagree with a lot you say when it comes to the Derek Carr potentially being a top 5 MVP candidate. I think Carr's a lot better than a lot of people give him credit.
I like Carr.
Carr's a solid quarterback.
I think the problem with Derek Carr is he played in the AFC West. He's been on the Raiders, and they haven't had much success. But he's in the same boat as Matthew Stafford type. You put him on a team, there was rumors that they were going to keep Marcus Mariota over Carr, right? And then Carr goes out and balls out, and Mariota's gone, and they have Carr now. To me, people don't need to realize what this guy is going to do with a guy like Josh McDaniels at the helm is going to be exponentially better. He did that with Jay Gruden in the middle, like AK said, in the middle of turmoil. They had literal turmoil going on in their team. Their coach got kicked off the team for some racial slurs back in God knows when. right? They had the guy who ran people over that got caught for murder, right, in the middle of their season. I mean, those are some traumatic events that are happening. Not only is your head man changing, which is a shock in itself, but then your receiver, your star receiver, is out due to something that was tragic that he could have prevented by not being a drunk idiot, right?
Yep.
So, it's not like it would have been different if it was like he was, driving around going grocery shopping and he ran this person over and he wasn't inebriated. It would be like, I feel terrible. But you were an idiot and went out and, didn't even help the person in that car. I can't feel sorry for you, right, when you didn't do anything right. So that experience for the Raiders is big, and they made it through and went to the playoffs. So now you got to say, well, they get I guess you can say a better coach, because I would have kept the other guy, but he earned it. But I guess they wanted to go in a different direction. And then you get Devontae Adams. Like, come on, like that just changes the game for you.
And let's be honest, man. I mean, it was because of Derek Carr they made the playoffs last year. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and bullshit. Like that. Yes, they were only 9-7,
Sure.
but so were we. And our team and their team both had limited talent. I mean, in a way, I would say the Raiders had a little more talent than what we did, but our records were just the same. But I mean, Derek Carr, he went up against Herbert in double overtime to win that shit. Like, I recognize all that, man. And like you said, dude, it's turmoil. They push through everything. You think they're going to stop now? No.
AK, when was the last time your team had a 1,000-yard receiver?
Zach Ertz.
No, that's a tight end though. But
With us, it was 2018 with Beckham. That's the last time we had a 1,000 receiver. 1,000-yard
FYI,
receiver.
dude, you know what's bad? I gotta.
Thaddeus
Google
Moss.
that. I should not have to Google that shit.
What happened?
I just said to go back on when we were talking about tight ends. I didn't want to interrupt anybody, but the Cincinnati Bengals also got Thaddeus Moss,
Oh, Randy Moss's son.
Randy Moss's son. So there could be, he's a Joe Burrow teammate as well. So
Yeah,
who knows?
I get it, but we're talking about Thaddeus Young here. I mean, we're not talking about an established tight end,
We're pulling at strings now. Yeah, I'm just throwing that out there. Just letting everybody
No, he's on a good team because he's going to get touches, like that's for sure. I mean, Zach Taylor is, going to figure out a way. These offensive-minded guys, this is what I talk about when I talk about an elite quarterback. Because when you have an elite quarterback, you're in every game. It doesn't matter the score, you're in every game. When you have a guy that you're shaky about, I'll mention a guy with two initials. I won't say anything about him, but he plays in a team in blue, right? When you have a shaky quarterback, you don't feel confident come 2 minutes in the game. Are we going to win, right? With Joe Burrow, I'm like, all right, the Bengals always have a shot in a game to win. No matter what, if their defense gets a turnover, the other team gets a 3-and-out for some reason, like things happen. But then you get a guy. Why do you think the Green Bay Packers can put guys in and guys out and still be 13-3 every year? Because their quarterback is Aaron freaking Rodgers.
Yep.
Facts.
And that's what pisses me off about the whole Aaron Rodgers debate, man. When you sit there, Adams gets so much fucking credit over these last 8 years, right? And here's the thing. People fail to forget Aaron Rodgers had 2 MVPs before Adams even got there.
Yep,
Right.
that's
I
true.
mean, the thing about a guy like Adams is you only get exponentially better. A guy like Rodgers gets you that big contract. You play with a booty ass quarterback like Jimmy Garoppolo, and you're begging and pleading and scratching and clawing and say, I got to play running back to get my money because my quarterback doesn't throw for worth a damn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Debo.
Yeah, I mean, it's also because the synergy that Aaron Rodgers had with Devontae Adams and the chemistry they built up over the years, it only helped. They knew where each other were going all the time on the field. They knew each other's route combinations. They knew what the scheme, where each guy was going to be. So, I mean, that helped out too. But, yeah, you might not like Aaron Rodgers as a person, but you can't ever discount the guy's talent. He's been a top quarterback in the NFL for a very long time. And still, even at his age, where he's, into his late 30s, He's still performing like a top 5, top 10
If
quarterback.
you want to call him a
No doubt.
whiny bitch every once in a while, yes, he's a whiny bitch every once in a while. But I can't denounce his talent. You know, I don't believe, and this is just me, that he's the greatest thing I've ever seen at quarterback. I've been watching this game a long time. I've seen a lot of greats. You know, I wouldn't, you know, Joe Montana is one of my all-time favorites. He's my number one, and then I'm probably putting Peyton Manning number 2 for me. So those are my all-time greats that I like. You know, Aaron Rodgers, while he's done some good things, he's only won, you know, 1 ring. You know, and that's not necessarily his fault, but you know, last year I will say this, he didn't do well in that Green Bay game. That 49er defense kind of made him look pedestrian.
I gotta say this though, man. Like the only reason that I defend the man is, one, you're right. That second Super Bowl eludes him, and that truly hurts him. Hell, three would probably solidify him right there, or close to whoever you would want to solidify him to.
Right.
But
I guess you could say if he won more than one, we're putting him in that Joe Montana kind of class.
Absolutely.
because when you look at him, dude, he has a career QBR of 112. His passer rating is 105. He's in the 100 in all his shit. Tom Brady has thrown 256 interceptions. Like I said, he hasn't even hit 100 yet. I mean, hell, Peyton Manning has thrown over 200 interceptions. You're talking about a dude that's been going in his 19th season this year, and he hasn't even hit 100 yet. In the last 3 seasons, he's thrown 14 interceptions. That's amazing.
Pretty remarkable.
Truly,
That's crazy.
Phil, halftime, what are you trying to do to us? We don't want Jimmy G. Please keep Jimmy G anywhere away from our team. You think it's bad with Daniel Jones? Wait until you see if Jimmy G ever shows up with the Giants. Giants Twitter will explode. There's like a tsunami that happened in the Giants Twitter.
I agree
Going
with
nuts.
NYG. Rogers' other big downfall is he's a dick. Yes. His ego gets the best of him. He thinks he's the God gift to all of football. I will say that. He's got a very big ego.
That's probably
I did
why
not.
Devontae Adams is not even a Packer right now, because Aaron Rodgers won a big contract, and it probably cost him his stud receiver.
Yeah. Nah, dude. He should have just went to Jeopardy. They would have paid him for life.
Well, like you just mentioned, AK, he's got 55,360 pass yards. He's got 449 touchdowns to only 93 interceptions, and he's got a career rating of 104.5.
104.5. And then a QBR of 112. Dude, who has a QBR of 112 after 18 years? Who?
In 2020, I again, like, because it went right over my head, and
Packers
but
is
he
not
had 4,299 pass yards for 48 touchdowns, only 5 picks the year before last year.
Yeah.
Like, that is fucking nuts, man.
Yeah. I'm telling you, bro. If he had 3 rings, if he had 3 fucking rings, you guys wouldn't need. No one would doubt this man. Not
Exactly. The talk would be over.
Like,
Yeah.
dude, that itself prove everything you need to know. Literally.
Wow.
Would you say he's the greatest Packers quarterback in franchise history, better than Bart Starr or Brett Favre?
Over Bart Starr.
Can I say something a little further than that?
Shoot.
He's the greatest accurate quarterback of all time. His accuracy is impeccable, dude. The interceptions show that. The rating shows it. The QBR shows it. He is the best all-around passer in all of the NFL. I truly believe that. He is a dick. He only has 1 Super Bowl, but I cannot deny that the guy probably has the best accuracy we've ever seen in our entire life.
And let's be real. That Super Bowl is won because of Clay Matthews in defense. You know, they had Julius Peppers, they had Charles Woodson. You know, they don't win that Super Bowl without those big guys on the team. So,
but he had to be accurate, though.
No, he was MVP that season, he should be MVP every year. But I think they really should do it for when you actually get to the next round, right? Because some of these guys get MVP and then they're out in the first round of the playoffs. Like, oh, that's great.
Yeah. Oh, well, so much for that. It's like,
So. Well, listen, guys, we have been live for 2 hours. We did the offensive side. Here in a couple days, maybe next week or something, we're going to come back and we're going to do the defensive side of the ball. You know, we're not going to do defense. Well, are we going to do defensive line on this one?
could.
Sure.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Defensive
Well,
line.
we will do defensive line all the way to safety for our next one. We'll give you our top 5 choices for that. I didn't really want to do tackles, man, because we all pretty much know who's the best when it comes to
Nate
offense.
Solder. Nate
You
Solder's the best offensive tackle in the NFL.
Yeah. You can be sporadic with who's going to have a good year on defensive side of the ball. Some people have a better year than others, and some year it swaps. So, and then you have the ones that stay consistent. So I'm looking forward to the defensive side. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on that. That's going to be fun,
Yes.
especially when we get the corners and stuff, because I know everyone has a different take on corners and stuff. So, but shout out to the 10 people still in here. Appreciate each and every one of you.
Thank you for playing.
Please hit
Thank
that
you, guys.
subscribe to each and every one up here. These are great individuals. I love working with them. Why don't you guys give yourselves a shout out?
Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, I just want to say thank you. Echo what AK just said. Thank you to everybody that's coming to the chat and contributing. We appreciate all you guys have done and support that you give every single one of us. I'm NYG Jeffy T3285. You can catch me covering the New York Giants, the Brooklyn Nets. Katie's a jackass. The New York Mets, the WWE Wrestling, as well as the Food for Thought. You can also catch me with my guy down there in the lower left, Adam Costas, as well as my boy Mac the Giants fan and Zion Zenith, as we're going to be doing the Premium Take Show that's eventually going to be moving to Saturday. Every single Saturday you can catch us. We're going to be doing NFL previews, WWE Wrestling, Major League Baseball, NBA, etc. And just everybody, thank you for coming by the stream today.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody that came on and came through. Appreciate it. All the people in the chat, I really appreciate it. Adam, Jeff, AK, great creators. Sub them all up. Make sure you guys follow them. Great people. They also do great content. You guys can find me on the Hardcore Sports Network, where every Friday I'll give you my UFC predictions before the fight on Saturday. So make sure you pop in and show up for that. And yeah, Adam.
So you can find me doing the Hurry Up live with a couple of these guys. Jeff helps me out with that now. He might be the co-host, unbeknownst to him, when that show goes live. So the Hurry Up Live, look for it. I also do stand-up.
I'm so honored.
I also do the stand-up with the same name called the Hurry Up Live, which is basically a vignette, a video of whatever's going on in sports, mostly with the Giants. Like if there's an injury update, or I'm going to come out tomorrow with a Hurry Up Live with Jeff, if he's around, to do the roster review and the depth chart. So look for that. Premium Takes, like he said, we're on there every Saturday. We tell you about everything sports related, whether it's WWE to UFC to MLB. And I didn't mean to rhyme there, but it did. But,
And you also
But that-
forgot about movies.
yes, movies. We do movies a lot. We forgot about that. Someone's listening to our podcast. There you
I
go.
love
And the last thing we got is the NFC East Roundup, which will be out tomorrow at 5:30 with Mac the Giant fan. I don't do it justice without saying it. I should try that again. The NFC East Roundup with Mac the Giant fan. He and I will be going through the entire season with NFC East content. So we're going to be talking about Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, you name it. We're going to be talking about them. So come join us every Wednesday night, 5:30. And that's all I got. AK, thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys' knowledge and passion for football, man. So that's why I love having you guys on. And you guys can really talk all football. So it's cool, man. And I appreciate you guys wanting to do it with me. Philly D, Kel's getting elbow surgery. He's just getting his elbow cleaned up. It's not really anything that big. He should be back by week 1. So don't worry too much about that. But yeah, definitely shout out to each and every one of you. Appreciate you guys for coming through. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much for all the questions and all the comments. Shout out to Joey Shake 72 for coming in. Appreciate you, man, for all the support you show my channel. Shout out to Jinx and Philly D and
halftime.
Eric and Philly Halftime and NYG and yeah, man, all you guys, thank you so much. And Jerry Lee, Henry, appreciate you, man. Philly Sports Rap, thank you so much for coming in. Cole's Cowboy, yeah, all you guys. If I left anyone out, I apologize. Come back tonight at 9 p.m. on my channel. We got the mighty E-Rock on tonight. and we're gonna talk some Eagles football with him. We'll sit here, and this week we got Prime coming on from Fourth and John. Eventually, we got to still finish setting that up, and then we got also King DV from JC Sports Talks channel. He's going to come on Thursday and talk with me. So yeah, man, we got a lot set up this week. So definitely stay tuned. Hit that bell so you know when I go live. But yeah, man, this is another great episode. Stay tuned for next week or the next couple of days. We'll have our defensive side out. So appreciate each and every one of you coming on, man. Truly, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me on the show.
No problem. And until next time, guys, I'm AKA Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. We out.
Let's go, Giants.